Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to everybody. I hope you're all having a lovely day wherever you are and however long you've been awake for. And I know for some of you it's quite early in the day and for others it's quite late. Welcome to Australia. It's 10 p.m. So hello everybody. Thank you for liking the character gallery. I needed something to put on the start screen, so I just have it cycle through my 2020 art folder. Well, actually, it cycles through 2020, 2029, and 2018, which is awkward because a lot of them are duplicates because I keep cropping pictures for Instagram, so there's like 50 copies of some of those. But it's fine. They use art. They are art. I'm proud of my art most of the time. So the plan for today is, since on the weekend, on my last stream, I finished the... Actually, I probably should show that, since I technically didn't finish it on stream, I finished it afterwards. It's need more coffee o'clock. Yeah, honestly fair. But so on my last stream, I was doing the flags for countries in my Alliance article, which is the Northwest Pact, and over the weekend, I finished that article entirely and the remainder of the flags, so here's the actual flag of the Pact. It's pretty boring, but you have no idea how long it took me to make a goddamn shield shape in Inkscape. It is a chaos nightmare. I hate it. I hate trying to make curved shapes in Inkscape. Genuine nightmare. But you know, they have a flag, you know, because get it, it's like Northwest. I keep forgetting it's like flipped, so it's like Northwest. Yeah, flags. Creative. And then there's all the other flags. So when on the stream I did these three flags of Shihiwul, Lethuzi, and Glinzu Chol. And then I cropped the Drakanyu flag because we figured out that Elvish flags are predominantly square for some reason. I thought it was cool. And then I made Ukabriya's flag, which is a hideous nightmare, but I love it. It's deliberate, I promise. Like, it's kind of intended to look like a bit of a mess, so they have a lot's happening in this flag. And I mean, it's not that complicated. I've seen more complex flags that look significantly worse, but it is what it is, and I think it's funny. And so yeah, this article is actually done, and it also has a diplomacy web, so you can see that nearly everyone hates Ukabriyads, except for Glinzu Chol, because they're chill. Listen, things are complicated. Things are happening in here, which is why there's a web, so you can see everybody's relationships very, very loosely, because none of these articles are published, so you can't actually go to, like, you can't come here and actually find out, because you can't come to this article. I can. So you can see all of these details. I can see them. No one else can. And these probably won't show up anyway, because I don't love how they look on the sidebar, which I think most people have a problem with. Where just because they take up so much space, it's just like, holy shit. So, you know, article, Alliance article, finito. And because I have finished my article for the Alliance Challenge, that means I need something else to do. Aside from homework, that is, because... so much homework. I just have so much homework. So instead, I am going to be working on an article or two, depending on time, if time permits, and if I actually get work done. If I actually get this article done, I'll work on another one. But I'll be working on my Synergasio part of the world. Yay! So this is Yutromorch. Over the last week, I did the CSS for it. It's not properly uploaded yet. It's still only article only, so like I have to manually put it into every article, because I think there are still some little things I want to tweak, and I don't want to have to bother Kahuna into getting it put in every time. So I'm gonna keep it manual for a little bit while I iron out some of the bits. while I figure out the little tweaks and bits that I need to make, and while I figure out what articles I need to, because there are some article bits I haven't touched yet because I don't have any of their articles up yet. So you know, yeah, it'll work out eventually. And so this is actually the article for. I should have brought up the prompt. I should have brought up the prompt while I was preparing. I brought up everything else but the actual prompt article. So, because there's the 3 prompts, I did prompt 1 a while ago. That was about Beati, who is the god of stuff. Big life god. Great time. The getting work button, yeah. Oh god, getting work done. Who does that? So this was the answer to prompt 1. There is technically more to the answer to prompt 1, but I'm keeping it minimal, and then I'll come back and do like the other bits, because like there's another deity that I probably should write about at some point, but that's later. So that was prompt 1. Prompt 2 is, how does magic manifest in your region? So in Yutromorch, it's a bunch of crystals, because I think crystals are cool. And that's why the header is crystal. I'm the god of stuff and things. You know? Stuff. Listen, Bayari isn't exactly conscious to tell you what they're the god of. Bayari's not going to come up and say, hey, I'm the god of life, because if Bayari is talking to you, there is already a problem, which is that Bayari should not be conscious. Because that means the entire island is now no longer an island. Something has gone wrong. So, Bayari's not going to contradict you if you say they're the god of earth or trees or whatever. Bayari can't really complain. So you can describe anything you want to Bayari, and Bayari will let you go. And take a nap. Alright, thank you for stopping by, Atalia. I hope you have a lovely nap. Naps are good. God, I need more naps. I need to take more naps. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take a nap during the afternoon, and then I never do. I never do. So, I have made some progress on the magic article since, when was the prompt posted? Oh, we can't see the timestamps. It's been a while. It's been like, what, 3 weeks? And so I have made some progress. And I'm not sure how much more needs to... There is bits that I need to do, but like, I don't know how much detail I'm going to go into. Because I might keep some of my prompt articles fairly... Not... The one was scant, I guess. Fairly thin to give me a bit of flexibility going forward, since I'm still in the foundational stage. I don't want to be too set in stone in case I change my mind. Because I already had a detail like that happen, and hopefully the canon articles aren't being worked on already, because I was having difficulty figuring out, because I started writing the Bayari article before the region was assigned, and so I didn't know what was happening with the mountain that I asked for. And then I found out that it was a caldera, and then I was going back and forth on how it being a caldera impacted on the crystal part, and then I think I've settled on how it works. But, you know, we have to keep things flexible, so I can't be too specific for some bits. Ideally, then I'll come back and I'll fiddle with stuff. Like, that can be like... But like, some of the articles I haven't written yet, I'll be able to come back during like Worldbuilding, and I'll write them. Like you said, I'm probably not going to get a chance to write about the rival god in the Pantheon until December, but that's okay. I can work with that very much, because then that'll be a fun article to write randomly in December. Because you said it'll be fun. But magic. So the way that Yutromorch magic works is you have to have crystals. So you can't just like summon, like, you know, just think real hard and magic happens. There has to be a crystal involved. Luckily for the people of Yutromorch, they all have crystals in their bodies, so they can just do magic. But if I appeared in Yutromorch, I could not do magic unless I picked up 2 crystals and started whacking them together, like a child playing with toys, and started like clinking them together, and then magic would happen. I'd have to have 2 of them. Yeah. They feel like reading on a competition. Yeah, and that's a good thing. Because some people have gone at it, and I'm just like, holy shit, the speed. Oh god. Because some people have written a lot, and I have 1.5 finished articles. It's like, holy shit. So I'm glad it's like fairly chill, because I am still getting stuff done, and even though I haven't written other articles, I have been thinking about it, so it's all good. Things are still happening. And yeah, it's a model of your personal world building, and that makes sense. I think I usually work... Oh shit, which way does it go? So it's either top down or, like bottom up. I think the way that I tend to work is bottom up, because most of my worlds began as settings for specific stories and then grew from there. Like Tiumara began as a setting for a story that I haven't written, obviously, but like it began to serve as a place for some characters to exist. But with Yutromorch, I did not actually have a narrative in mind. So that's going to be a nice experience of the opposite angle of coming from like the broad concepts down rather than character up into broad concept. Sort of. Well, I mean, I have CSS because I CSS brain shiny go brr. I need things to be shiny. I think the main reason I worked on CSS in the last like week or so is because I figured out how to make the diamonds appear, and that was just, alright, we've got it. As soon as I figured out how to do the diamonds, I went, alright, we're in. Oh god. So, magic involves crystals, and then the actual system is basically just like your fairly standard 4 elementals plus fancy shiny extra. Hello Siobhan, good morning, or good evening even. It is good evening, good evening, good morning, etc. How was your stream? I didn't get to drop in, unfortunately. I was attempting to do homework and then failed miserably. Yeah, you start with macro, geography. Yeah, and that makes sense. And like working from macro to micro, it works really well for some people, and some people work opposite. I think I just tend to work opposite for some reason. I'm not totally sure why. It's kind of confusing, because I feel like in theory I work best from macro to micro, but I keep doing micro to macro instead. So I'm a bit confused, but it's fine, you know. And then the middle just goes. And then died partway through. Oh damn. Oh, that sucks. Like did the stream just drop, or was it just years? Like you had to just call it off early. Because like tech issues suck, personal issues also suck. Sometimes it just be like that. Like anytime I cancel a stream, it's because I'm just like, yeah, nah, just not feeling it today. Just nah. Sometimes it usually be like, days just do not go. So hold on. So I've written all the elemental categories plus fancy middle boy. Tech issues. Ugh. And yeah, because you're doing writing, your keyboard has to be working. If you can't type, then what are you gonna do? At least if my keyboard mostly breaks, I could, in theory, go grab my tablet and do something. Like, something. In theory, in practice, if my keyboard is breaking, I'm gonna be yelling at somebody. Things are gonna happen if my keyboard breaks. Just because it's a laptop. So it's like, if this keyboard is broken, chaos ensues. Yeah. Yeah, because, yeah, you wanted the Rust theme. That's going to be really difficult, just because, for one, the Rust theme is... Okay, for the record, I love all of the CSS themes that come with Worldbuilding, because everyone who makes them, extremely talented. I wish I was them. Some of them are a bit janky. And I believe Rust is one of the ones that has some weird jank happening with it. Like sometimes things just go weird in there. It's really neat, it looks cool, sometimes it breaks horrifically. I mean, don't they all, right? Sometimes things just catastrophically explode. And it's a really, like, big thing with the early themes, because they have to be updated to fix things that happened afterwards. Just a cool. And then trying to copy an entire theme into article CSS is kind of a pain. Like, if I had time, and sadly I don't at the moment, because I've got, like, I basically have these sections that I take out for fun time, and then I'm supposed to be doing homework at pretty much every other time of day. If I had time, I would go and try and wrangle the Rust theme for you, and maybe if the Rust theme still hasn't sorted itself out come like mid-October, holler at me. I'll try and see if I can get it to work. Because I know how to get it, and I know how to fiddle with stuff sometimes, and I'll see if I can mess with it. We'll see though. We'll see. Yeah, he wouldn't even accept your backup keyboard. Oof. So then, if it's like, if it's like a plug-in keyboard, maybe the port's broken. Did you try another port? That or the drivers are broken. It's one of those two options. That's all I have as possibilities. I'm not tech support. You need to bowl Kahuna. Yeah, I mean, I'm always around as well, because I think it, like, not to brag, but I think of the people working in Sinner Garcia currently, I am the person who's been around the longest and have been messing with World Anvil CSS for a while. So if y'all need help, I can possibly do stuff. Possibly. I'm good at CSS, but only World Anvil CSS. I haven't learned any other. It's like, yes! I know how to do World Anvil, and that's it. These diamonds are the fanciest shit I have ever pulled. My god. But yeah, so the Yutromorch magic is just 4 elements plus fancy middle. Technically, the fancy middle doesn't do anything itself. It's like it's just like the spark that makes stuff go. Technically, it's complicated. Ugh. Goddamn apple crumble. And so I'd written that. I think I did this partly during a Kahuna Quiet too, which is really nice. Yeah, checked all, reboot, and then by that time you'd write in kill stream. And that makes sense. Like, if tech issues are being that just difficult to handle, at that point you just go, okay, you know, we're gonna cut our losses, send everybody off, and I'm just gonna deal with it. And hopefully you're able to get that to fix itself in some way. Somehow you're able to just wrangle it. Because, like, I'm trying to imagine doing, like, a novel using the on-screen keyboard, and I'm... Ooh. Oof, I can think of nothing worse. And, like, if it's touch keyboard, that, like, touch screen, that's okay-ish. If it's not, oh no. Oh, God. It's fixed now. Okay, good. Oh, thank God. It would be rough if it wasn't. Glad you were able to get it sorted eventually. And so, okay, what was I up to? I was talking about how magic is used and, like, how it works. Use is probably not the word to use. 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 Yeah. 53k on your phone last nano. Holy shit. God damn. That's impressive. That is impressive. I've never done any long form writing on my phone. Like, I've written, like, really vague, like, almost, like, just, like, scenes on my phone occasionally. Just because I'll have an idea and I'll be like, I must take notes. And they'll be, like, 200 words or something. And it's like, that's about as much as I'm gonna write on a phone, I think. Alright, and so then this is how it works. And then I was up to figuring out how different elements combine. And then I got stuck because I couldn't think of names. Because they're not... they are what they are, so they're not... Because it's basically just the avatar system, I think is how this basically works. It's basically just avatar, but with fancy names. And I'm like, yeah, alright. It's amazing how many typos. Oh god, phone typos. The only good thing about phones is that sometimes they will autocorrect for the names of my country. Or, like, countries in, like, my world. They will autocorrect for, like, nouns. And that is it. They mess up everything else. Any non-proper noun, they will butcher the hell out of. And that is most words in a sentence. Hover over messages? Do I have... Oh, right. So, where do I have hover messages put on? Hover over messages, they're like, if you have the excerpt for a, where is it? Where is it? Where is that? Excerpts. If you make sure that an article has an excerpt, then when you link it to another article, and when you hover over its link, which I think should be, actually there is no link that has that in here. Oops. There's a link somewhere. When you hover over it, it'll have that excerpt, or it'll just show the article, actually. It depends. Oh, names is next prompt? Oh no. Oh god. Country names or people names? Country names or people names? One of those is thing. Right. Well, I think excerpts are helpful because there are different ways to do. There are different ways that it will pop up with a link. Yeah, or mouse over snippet. I wasn't sure how the setting is for the world because it's world all over, right? Because like you can set in the world configuration. I can't demonstrate on this article in Synergasia, obviously, because I'm only an editor, not a co-owner. In the config, you can select whether a link shows its excerpt or its mouse over snippet slash slash the thing, you know, the first this whole box here. And I don't actually know which one we use. What did we use? Which one is have we picked? Hold on. Scroll it down. Yeah, okay, so in Synergasia, we are using excerpt. We're not using mouse over snippet. Which is okay, I think that's fine. I think it's totally cool to do that. It's a totally cool choice to make. But it's good to know. I think it's a good thing to let people know. Regardless, whichever one we pick, it's good to tell people which one. You should honestly fill out your excerpt either way, because then when you link an article, like if you take this preview link and post it on Twitter or in Discord or something, it'll show the excerpt with that link. That's useful. So it's good to have the excerpt anyway, but it's nice to know that we like need one for hover over stuff. Hello, Tillers! Good morning / good evening. No, wait, hold on. Good afternoon. Yeah? Yeah? Good afternoon. It's like noon, right? Noon? 1 o'clock? Right? I'm in the right ballpark, right? Time zones? I remember that you're like in Germany, right? It's like CT. It's like 1 or 2? 2:30. Okay, I was close. I was getting there. I know when GMT is relative to me, and that's as far as I can get. I then have to work backwards, and I don't know how big time zones are, so I'm like, it's anywhere between about 12 and 3 o'clock right now. But hey, math. You nailed it. Okay, so I'm gonna delete that now. So, I think of the... Oh god, I have a lot of notes. If anyone ever looks at my, like, word count from the articles and goes, wow, Isaac's written a lot, it's entirely just stream of consciousness notes. Most of it is not actual words. It's just like, I don't know, do you like this? Do you like this? I don't know, think about it. Like, go then have a nap, think about it. That's entirely my notes. It's all a mess. Yeah, it's 2 off GMT close to me. I switch mid-October. Mid-October, I think, like the 14th or so? Yeah, because it's after my final assignment is due. So it's like the 14th or the 15th of October. That's when I switch to DST, which means I'll be plus 11 off of GMT UTC. So that'll be fun. Which means that I think the way that works is that it means I start... Yeah, I start streaming like an hour later I think? No, hold on. No, because I move... Oh god, time zones, it's silly. So I think it is that I move... If I keep streaming at 10 o'clock, it means I move back an hour GMT, I think. Which is weird. But it be like that. For some reason. So, yeah, we switch before... I think, everybody else, yeah. Yeah, so we will overlap. We'll overlap Siobhan, but only by an hour, I think. Or if we're streaming at the exact same time. Because I was the plan was, since after like October 13th I'm finished uni, I can probably switch to streaming an hour later if I need to help not overlap with everybody, because otherwise I'm going to end up overlapping with you and with Greg and everybody, and then there'll be gaps, and I don't want to have gaps. So if I can, I'm gonna fiddle with it. It's gonna depend. We're gonna have to fiddle with it, because I guess my first stream is after DST switches, and it's when uni is done after that. So on that Tuesday, I can probably start at 11 on that day if I need to at least have at least an hour of not overlap. I'm not sure. Time zone is going to be hard because I can't stream earlier. Because I prefer to stream after like 10 o'clock. Even though the sleep is whatever. But like I get up at 1 p.m. so who cares? So I'll have to figure that out. And yeah. So Aussie's is not the 4th of October. No, Aussie's is not the 4th of October, is it? When is Australia DST? Australia DST. Oh, it is the first Sunday of October. What? Oh, shit. Oh, well, never mind then. Damn it. Okay, so it's in like 2 weeks. Oh, it's in a week and a half. It's in almost 2 weeks. Okay, so it's 2 weeks. Oh my god, alright. So I'll probably... okay. I'll figure something out. I'll figure something out when it happens. Because I think... the plan was that for the... so on that next stream, which will be the 6th, on the 6th of October, I'll start at 10 like usual, which means I'll start an hour earlier, GMT-wise, and then I will stream for 3 hours if I need to like close that gap between like me and Bob. And then during that stream, I'll figure out if I want to switch to streaming at 11, which is the same time GMT that I stream now, because time zones are nonsense. And if that works, then we'll see what happens when DST hits everybody else and you all move backwards to meet me. Because you're all Northern Hemisphere, you're all coming back to meet, to extend from me. So I think no matter what I do, there will be overlap. And that's okay, because like at the moment I'm already overlapping with Greg's riding sprint, and that's okay. We can overlap. It's fine. I'm not really stealing views from anyone, I don't think. Because like most of us here are aware of the ASC, so we can all return to each other, as it were. So like, you know, I'm not going to stop you from doing anything. I would just like to avoid total overlaps. Like the scenario of you and I streaming at the same time, like exactly the same time, 2 hours, Siobhan. No, I won't let that happen. Like I will do my best to avoid that happening, because I don't want to stream at the same time. That would just be rude. That would just be extremely rude. So I will not be letting that happen. I will be fiddling with that, even if it involves doing different days, which I'll have to look into that. It'll depend on how not having uni or a job goes, because I don't have either of those after that. So it's like, yeah, you stream every day, so I can't even shift days, so I'm just like, yeah, I can't stream Mondays. Shit. Yeah. Time zones, am I right? We'll figure something out. We'll figure it out. I will do my best to avoid total overlap, even if it involves half an hour's. Like if I have to start at like 10:30 or 11:30, I'll do it. I'm fairly flexible, within reason. Yeah. Push time's not as pleasant to start in the morning. Yeah. I figure we can figure this out in October when everyone's time zones start getting mangly. So like again, on the 6th, on Tuesday the 6th, which is is the first stream that I do after the switch. So this is all normal DST, and then October here, you can actually see it has actually corrected for it properly, as far as I know. So I start here, but I can go for 3 hours on that day, just to make sure that we all understand how this is going, which means I will be overlapping Greg, but we have slightly different audiences anyway, so I think we're okay. Like, Siobhan can raid Greg, and then Greg could raid me, I don't really care. And then I'll shift back or something. And then I usually stream this gap anyway, so we'll figure it out. Time is hard. Time zones are hard. So we'll figure that out when it actually becomes like a significant issue. Or maybe I will just start at 11 on that day. I'll just start at 11. Wait, no, because I still have school. No, I have to start at 10 on that day. Oh no, do I? Not really. Ugh. Time zones. They're dumb. Because I'm probably not going to want to stay up until 1. No, I'm going to stay up at 1 anyway. Yeah, Greg has a stable audience, so I'm not as worried if I totally overlap Greg, I think. Because we have different audiences. Like, the sprinter audience is distinct from the rambler audience. Because I'm not running sprints yet. We'll figure that out, because I might run sprints in October just to finish off some homework. It's writing homework, so it is relevant, but it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, true. That is true. We'll figure something out. We'll sort it out as we go. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just a pure rambler, but I will be testing out sprints during October while I simmer on the idea of like how to participate in Game of Tomes, figuring it out. I feel like I have to because like there needs to be representation from Chapter 7 tomes somewhere. In the Game of Tomes event, there has to be someone from Chapter 7 tomes, and I'm the chapter leader for some reason, so I feel like I should participate somehow. So I'm going to run at least one stream with sprints in October to test. Oh yeah, right. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, so there is. Siobhan has the major house of tomes, but I'd like more tome rep because it's called Game of Tomes. We're Chapter 7 tomes. We have to have tome rep. Have to have all of it. We all need to be there. No, we don't. But 2 house. Wait, hold on. 2. Shit, have I forgotten who's in my own house? I absolutely have. Is coffee in our house? Shit. Oh god, I'm a really bad house leader. I should not be the leader of 7 tomes, but I have to be for some reason. I'm like, shit. So I have to just deal with it. I'm like, oh, well, I forget. Just ask Harry Potter. Oh yeah, Chrysalia! Oh, I forgot. Oh, I feel bad. I feel bad for forgetting who's in my own house. I mean, I can pledge fealty to anybody if I am a wildcard sprint streamer. Stream sprinter. Sprint streamer. I can freelance as it is. It's mercenary work. Or I will make a house. I was thinking about it, I was lying awake going, what bread pun can I make? And the answer is few. So I couldn't think of a house name, so I was like, I'll think about it later. I had a motto. It was gonna be rise up, like you know, like bread does, like rises. That's it. That's all I have. I have a motto, and I'm like, okay, cool. Anyway, it's 10:40. I should probably actually do some article writing at some point, because if we can finish the magic article, we can write about we can work on prompt 3. So, okay, so there's the combinations, which are a pain in the butt because they should be simple, but I've given everything pretentious names, so they're not simple. Because like light and volume is just fire and earth. So then, you know, what's light plus what is light plus volume? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Like it's lava, but like what is that? Yeah, true. And then house Chiroptera, yeah. Well, I mean, if I make a minor house, I can pledge to any major house I so desire. And yeah, yeast is probably a good pun to play. That makes sense. I'll dwell on it. I'll have time during October to think about it, because we basically have until, like, the 1st of November to think about it. Because I think, because, like, for the pledgings, I think the way it works time zone-wise is that I basically have to pledge to either Coffee Quills or Siobhan, because you stream during my daytime. So, like, I can pretty much always hit your stream, at least at the very start, to say, hey, I bend the knee, good day to you. And I don't have to pull any shenanigans. Like, I can't pledge to Sable most times, because Sable streams at, like, 8 a.m. and I'm like, I don't wake up until 1 p.m. I'm not getting up at 8 a.m. to say I bend the knee and then disappearing. That feels wrong. I'd want to be there for a little bit. So we sit. It's one of the two. So, like, you know what? I'll pick one of them, or I'll flip flop. Depends on who dies in week 1. I might end up dying week 1 if I make a minor house. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Eukaryote. Eukaryote? Eukaryote? Ukarata? How am I mangling this so badly? Okay. Ah, yeah, and Chrysalia too. Chrysalia does stream at a similar time, which is good. Yeah, so there's at least the 3 of you, which is good. I'm glad that there is at least, like, a good time zone rep for the Game of Tones major houses. So there is, like, you can usually hit at least one person, which is good. I was worried about that, because, like, you know, I'm like, oh god, most people stream when I'm asleep. Or it's like 4 a.m. my time, and I don't really want to stay up until 4 a.m. to bend the knee. That just sounds like a lot of work. Yeah, oh yeah, and Darth does too, you're right. There are people. I'm just gonna unplug that now. It's got enough charge. I need to live. People do stream my time. It's just a matter of, am I there? Am I doing things? I'll put it this way, there will be definitely at least one person I can bend the knee to in week 1. Assuming we then don't all immediately die and end up pledged to the Night King, which will devastate me. I don't want to be pledged to the Night King. And it also means that, like, if I may become a minor house, I basically commit myself to doing Nano, and that's gonna be a whole thing. So we're gonna see how that goes, because I have a work in progress. Eukaryote. Okay, Eukaryote. Okay. Not bad. Because everyone is doing, like, Latin, aren't they? So it makes sense to go the Latin E route, rather than trying to make a pun in something else. I think everyone's doing, like, a vague Latin. I feel like there was, like, Avis, like, Apis, and then, like, everyone's doing Latin. So, so there is, you know, I should stick to the theme. Unless I want to be the islander, which makes sense, I'm Australian. I should be an island nation with funky language. You know? Yeah. So the people... Yeah, in hindsight, yeah. Most of the major houses do stream when I'm awake. Which is good. Not everyone? Hold on, let me open it up. Because I remember the ones that I clicked in, I was like, I remember there's bees, I remember there's mollusca, and there's, like, sauropods, like... And then there's Varangia. Okay, oh, right. Yes, there is. That makes sense. Of course it's Varangia. Varangians the gates. Yeah. Oop, it. And then Mellet. Yeah, okay. Right, and then there's Avis. Oh, that's not gonna get confusing at all. No, those two are not gonna confuse the shit out of me. I'm gonna accidentally pledge to the wrong house if I pick either of those two. Oh, she changed her name. Hold on, no. Danny changed her name. Apparently, wait, what? Someone's changed their name. No, Chrysalia. Who's changed it? No, okay, Chrysalia. Bunnies? Someone's changed their name. No, they haven't. Nope, found it. Never mind. Oh my god, I can't read. Oh god, I can't read. They do have the same name. Oh my god, okay. Catch me accidentally confusing both of them. That said, Danny kind of streams my time zone. It's complicated. Again, I get up at 1 p.m. So, like, I'm like, Oh god, there's 3 of you with similar-ish names. Oh my god, alright. Yo, no. People should be exiled to the Australia house. And then we get exiled to Death House. So reporter's not mentioned. Yes, just uppity. Yes, true. But like all the houses that I had seen up to that point, I wasn't aware of House Varangia, though in hindsight, of course. But like all the ones that I'd seen seemed to be some form of Latin, or at least Romance languages. So I was like, yeah, alright. Cool. Everyone's doing Latin. So I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I do like, I've already forgotten what it's called. Oh shit. Eukaryote. Eukaryote is good, so I'll have to think about it. I have time. I have plenty of time, so it's all good. And then I'll need to make a logo. And Dionid. Who's Dionid? Who's House Dionid? Because like oh shit. Because DM stretches Varangia. Took me a second to remember his name. I feel bad. I figured that out. I don't know who Dionid is. I think it's... nope, I have no idea. I don't know who Dionid is. But there'll be a list eventually of minor houses, I assume. So that'll be fun. Oh god. Article? Cast my brain combinations together. Ah, Walking Dead lover. Oh, Deerand. Ah, got it, got it. Yep. Nice. Nice. There will be plenty of minor houses, whether I decide to form one or no. Worst comes to it, I will just be a freelance streamer who happens to run sprints. Possibly. We'll see. I'll figure it out during October, because I will need to sprint to finish some homework. Like a writing piece of homework. It'll be like test prep. Hello, DM Stretch. Welcome. I have gotten very little time in these 40 minutes. Oopsie daisy. Yeah, I'll be like, well, I mean, Bannerman means I've pledged to a specific house, right? Like, if I'm someone's Bannerman, I have basically pledged to a house, but I am not myself the leader of that house. Freelance means that I can pledge to whoever I want in whatever stream that I do. I mean, I only do 2 a week, but I could change. I could flip. I could flip midweek. You know? I like the flexibility. I will, you know, I'll pick one, it's fine. And I'll make my pledges as I go. It should be a beer mug and a slice of bread. Ooh. Yes. I'm definitely gonna have bread somewhere. Yeah. Well, yes, you can switch as a Bannerman, but I'm thinking in terms of, like, terminology, right? In the way that I imagine it in my head, if you're a Bannerman, you have committed to a house for at least a length of time. And since I only stream twice a week and I don't really plan to boost, at least like not sprinting streams, like I technically do 3 streams, one of them's Minecraft, so doesn't count. I feel like if I switch between the 2, I'm not really anyone's Bannerman, I am just a roaming vigilante, like a mercenary more than a Bannerman, in the way that my brain works. Maybe that's not how that functions. I don't know. War is difficult. Oh god. What do I have to finish in this article, aside from the combinations? I don't have names for these. Did Minecraft sprints and stacks on? Oh god, oh god. If I, oof. Oh no, I'd think about it. So, if I had shit ton of name tags, I would probably be like, yep, time to go. But I don't want to waste my name tags. I'll figure something out. Alright, good night, Siobhan. Have a lovely rest. Oh, shit. I need to actually do something, because this was not the article that was going to be the fun one. Not that magic isn't fun, but the second article was going to be the more fun one, I think, because it was going to involve more thinking about stuff. Because so far I have not done a whole lot. Oh god. The miners must commit for each 5-day period. Yes. So minor houses have to commit for a week, but individual people can do whatever. So house leaders must commit, individuals can go wild. So I can commit if I want. And if I don't end up being a leader of a minor house, I will probably still commit, just because it's way easier for me to keep track of stuff if I just stick. So, hello, Hefe! Hello! Welcome to the unproductive time. This is the 2 hours where no one gets anything done. Least of all me. Because I can't think of names for stuff. Because what? So, like, light is energy, and volume is density. So what does it mean if you put them together? Velocity? Is it? No, because that's flow. Shit. I failed physics. I can't do this. Oh no, I failed physics. I can't be doing anything like this. This doesn't make any sense. Why did I do that? Why did I decide to be fancy? Like, I legitimately dropped out of physics. I don't know anything. Like, what does it mean if you put energy and... Oh. What? What does it mean? English I, you, he, she, us, you, they, and then is ich, he, she, we, really? Oh god. There's a lot going on there. Yeah. It's not so much that I want to know, is that so what I'm trying to do is, the way the system works is there's the 4 major elements plus fancy funky boy in the middle. And so I was going to make a note of how each element combines together to form something kind of new. Right? So like, it's sort of like how in the Avatar magic system, when you get earth bending and fire bending, you get like lava bending, or, you know, stuff like that, right? And this is basically the Avatar system. But the issue is that I've decided to be nonsense, fake clever about the system, and like the fire element is called light, and it involves light level and energy, and the earth element is called volume, it has density and weight, and is also earthy, and like, that's okay, that's fine. But then when you try to combine the two, you go light and volume, and you put them together, and I'm just like, what? I don't understand what that would do. In like, I don't know. I don't get it. Call it flux. I mean, but they're all gonna be flux. They're all gonna be flux. Gravity. Ooh, gravity might actually be like when it would work. Yeah, gravity could do it. Because that kind of makes sense. But say gravity / flux. I can always make a choice later. And then there's light and movement, which I guess that's velocity. No, hold on. It's like light and movement, or it's light and mixture, or it's energy and movement, or energy and mixture. E equals mc squared. Energy is mass. No, that's not gonna help me. No. Oh boy, yo. That one semester of physics is not helping me. Acceleration? Yeah, I guess. I guess that is basically what it is, just like real fast. Real fast. Big fast. So I guess acceleration. Oop. Acceleration. Acceleration. There we go. I guess. And then energy and temperature is... None of these make sense. Ugh, shit. This is why it was difficult. This is why it stopped here, dead, immediately. Like, I had it in the more basic sense of, like, fire plus water is, like, steam or something, and I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. But then I'm trying to do it in fancy words, and I'm like, what does that mean? In terms of magic, what does it do? Like, I don't know. Like, I almost have in my head how it works, but I'm also like, I don't think I do. The name is the volume, pressure, temperature equation. I've mentioned I dropped out of physics, right? Thermal? Okay. We'll just put whatever. I can always change my mind later. Because they are mostly just like words for categories. They can be a bit funky. And then it's weight and speed. I guess that's basically energy then. No, because it's no. Oh my god. The worst part is I wasn't actually doing that bad in physics. I just hated it so much that I dropped everything out of my head. As soon as they let me drop that class, I was just like, yep, there it goes. I used to be decent, and then it just went boom. Right, okay. So it can be velocity, but the issue is now they're getting really similar to each other. I feel like, which is the issue. It was always going to be the issue. They're going to be fairly similar, which I guess makes sense. Because like velocity and acceleration are both subcategories of the movement class. Like, yeah, all right, they're different kinds of movement. Sure, that kind of makes sense. Oh boy. I'm not gonna know how to apply any of this. It's fine. And you should be in bed. Go to bed. I mean, you can talk about whatever you want in the chat. Just there's no guarantee I'm gonna understand what you're talking about. That's basically how it works. It's like you can talk about whatever. It's just like if I don't get it, I don't get it. That's just how it is. Like the worst part is that I used to really like physics, and then it just a lot happened. Oh, you hate your physics class. That helps. That helps. It helps that that people in my chat know the things that I don't. This is why world building is good, because I can just go, scientists, explain to me my own magic system, please. It's like, what? It's like, please. Just tell me what it means. Okay. And the next one is the density weight one and the temperature one. And by form, I meant like liquid, solid, gas. So I guess I feel like that's what the form is. If you apply temperature changes and such to the volume, to the object with the volume, then that's how you get the changes in state. Right? Because like how you boil water, it becomes the thing, and if you freeze the water, it becomes the solid. So I feel like it is the application of the temperature and the volume that creates the state, which means that I should rename the state tendency. Okay. Figured it out. I've got it? Okay, so this is state. This is, we're gonna just put temperature for now. We'll call it temper for a second. Just so that I remember that's what it is. Because that makes way more sense. Makes way more sense. This is something that I do know. I do at least remember my primary school physics. We'll just call it temper for a second. And we'll just go. Yeah. We'll put that in there. That's important. Okay, so that's state. I'll know what state is, that's fine. And then it is movement and temperature. What does that mean? Which I guess was my issue before, because like in like Avatar, air plus water is I think that's like ice bending or like something, right? But that just kind of confuses me. Excitement. Yes, excitement. Woo. So I guess like excitement in the terms of like exciting the actual atoms rather than like joy. Which does make sense. But then now it has a significant overlap with fire's entire domain, because fire is about light levels and energy. And excitement is a type of energy. Like it takes energy to excite the atoms. So again, we had the problem where why did I decide to make this pseudo fancy? Because it's Magitech, and I was like, I need a way to make computers. I know. We'll ascribe these arbitrary things to things. And then it just like, shit. Oh no, we're here again. I'll put excitement here for a second, but that is basically just energy acting on an object, which is not the same thing. We're saying energy to excite. Laser, yeah, I guess temperature and movement is a yeah. I guess that is kind of laser. That feels way more sci-fi than the other ones, though, which I think is the bit that's going to confuse me. Like, it's not a bad thing if there's a lot of overlap between categories, because it's like you can sometimes you just friction. Okay, friction could be good. Friction could be good. Friction could be good. Friction could be good. I mean, it's complicated. They can overlap a lot. It's not a big issue because then there's like, there can be these subtle things. It's like, yeah, in this computer, see, in these computers by this company, we use, we use a lot of like light crystals, right? We use these energy crystals. But in this computer by this brand, we use a lot of friction and excitement crystals. And that makes it way more expensive because now you're using two crystals to get the exact same effect as a single crystal because you want to be real fancy and decadent. It's decadence at that point to be like, yeah, instead of using like a fire crystal, we're going to use an air and a water crystal and put them together, get the exact same effect. It does the same thing. Like, yes, water plus air does not make fire, but movement and temperature can make fire sometimes if things go wrong. So it's like, okay, sure. They can be funky. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm willing to accept a degree of shenanigan with the combinations because I feel like it might even be better to not specify. After having gone through all that work, it might be better to not specify what the combinations are to anyone except for me. To just be like, yeah, you can combine crystals and get a bunch of weird shit. And then I know what the weird shit is, loosely. In as much as fantasy brain go. But, it's like, it's not as important, but I guess it is kind of useful to know what the thing is. Temper isn't actually a bad state name either. I should probably stick where that is. Though it is a sort of business Words are dumb. Put it in secrets. Yeah, I could just chuck this in a secret, and I'd have to obviously fix this. But I can just make it a secret and be like, here's the combinations. Good luck. And that way they can be really bad notes, which is good. I appreciate having bad notes. I will actually make a secret. I basically never use them, but I can do it. That said, I'm pretty sure every single person that's in Synergasia will be able to see my notes, which kind of sucks. Just a little. Because we're all edited, right? So we can all see each other's secrets. So that's a shame. But I can work with that. I can work within that. Because, like, it doesn't really matter. And it's mostly for me. Nobody else can read it. It's just everybody in this group who can. Well, like 20 of us, I think, total? 18? There's a number of us. There's a lot of people in Synergasia. Categophies? Categophies. Categophies. Combo. Ooh, this would be good, actually. Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. Hey, here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. Because now, it won't appear in the body. It'll actually appear down here. Which does mean that everyone will notice that randomly my article has a metadata. I didn't do secrets. I forgot about secrets. I keep forgetting secrets exist. 17, right, okay. So there's 17 of us, so 17 people will be able to see this secret. But that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind as much that this can be seen. I am going to need to tweak that, but that is not happening now. I'm not dealing with that presently. I refuse. This looks fine though. Like I styled this because all my other worlds have metadata sections because I'm not a sage on any other world. So this is the only world where I have access to not seeing the metadata. I actually prefer to be able to see it because then I can read all that. And I'm like, yes, I know when the article was made. Woo. That's why, like, I noticed like a bunch of people don't actually put the author, but for my Sino Garcia articles, I've been making sure to put the author in because I feel like it's maybe that's a bit of like bragging on my part. Not that it's really bragging. Their articles, but like, I want credit for the work that I have done because otherwise it can be difficult to find. So I make sure that I put the author in so that people know because you can't see the metadata usually. Like on this article, which is not styled, I've got it here, but it's not down here because there's no metadata section because you white labeled it out, which is not a problem. Totally fair to do, but I like to make sure that I get my fair due, you know, in as much as I get due. I want to make sure that my work has my name on it. On a way. Yeah, and copywriting, yeah. Because like I want to make sure that like people know that my work was done by me in this big collaborative world. My work is credited to me. I think that does mean that if any of you accidentally edit my articles, you'll get added to the author list. I don't know how to fix that. We're not going to tweak it. We're going to deal with that when it happens. And then I can remove this section, actually. So, I will tweak this. So, let's just... the larger the crystal, the greater the magical effect it can produce. When different tendencies are the categories, by the way, tendencies combine, you can interact in various ways to create new effects. And we'll give at least one example from one of the clearer ones that was more obvious. So like volume and temper. So I'll give an example of volume and temper, just because that one seems fairly clear because it's just the state one, such as the common. For example, volume and temper combine to form state, or a magic that can change a solid state of an object from state, enabling a caster to change a solid to a liquid or a gas, or vice versa. Just as an example, because that's the clearest one, fairly simple to understand. Most of us understand the life cycle of water. Like, we get it. We understand how it works. With the rising and the falling and the water vapors. We get it. And thank God. Even I get it. And oh boy. Apparently was good, isn't it? Really? God, you're lucky. I wish it was nice to us. It's been bloody cold. It's been disgusting. We had like a mini, like, what do we call it down here? Oh shit, cyclone? It wasn't actually a cyclone, but like it was a cyclone-esque storm. And it was like, gross, disgusting, worst, awful. Should have waited for you to write what was saying before you saw the concept. Different crystals are combined is way cooler than one crystal does all. I think one crystal does all is still pretty cool. And to be fair, Catalyst Crystal does basically do that, which is why I didn't give it combinations. Catalyst is basically the catch-all for if I can't think of a way for a different tendency to do what I want, Catalyst will do it. Which it will. Which we will go into when we talk about the crystal people. Because, oh boy, Catalyst is pulling its weight there. It's catalysts for days. Good lord. Like, I spent like an hour trying to think about how this shit works. Trust me, oh boy. It's pulling something. It is performing work. It is the catch-all, like, yeah, magic, you know? It do be like that. Do I want to, since this article is not long, and I don't want to go into too much depth, maybe what I might do is actually take this. Take this. Just take it. Take it. And put it in here. And I need to put my container on it, because I have a container for something. Which this will go in the main CSS, trust me. I have specific containers for very specific tasks. And just put it in here. And I think that looks a bit better to have stuff there. I might, do I need to put it separate? No, I think it's good there. It's fine like that, I think. And then I need to fix temper, because each of them I gave 2 examples for what they do. So like, the light tendency deals with light level and energy, like changes in it. And then volume deals with changes in density and weight. And flow deals with movement and mixture. And then temper deals with temperature and... So I need to figure that out. Temperature and... I'm not sure. I haven't figured that out. Ah! Lemon raid! Ah! Everybody! Run! Oh, shit. Don't I have, like, a shield? But what I do have... I like a shield. I'm trying not to get circles on my hands. Because it's just... It's disgusting. I have a hat. I'm gonna use it to hide. I don't want to get sparkles on my hands! Ah! A little hide from the home invaders. Oh shit. Oh shit, it doesn't fit on my hat. Oh no, my ponytail's in the way. Oh shit, I've got sparkles on my hands anyway. Damn it. Oh no. Oh, uh-oh. It does not fit on my head. Hold on. How do I fix it? How do I make it go? Yeah, sure. That'll do it. Welcome, Raiders! Thank you, Ryder Greg, for the raid. I hope you all had a lovely and productive stream with lots of sprints and lots of words and other things done. Welcome, all coming, and thank you for the follow, Agamemnon Games. Thank you very much. And yeah, having the crystal do a catch-all is way easier mechanically. Just way easier. Just, oh boy. I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be, but I'm not doing RPGs. So I can afford to be wibbly wobbly with it, I think. Oh no, you don't have the lemon emoji. I don't either. I feel bad. I should have a lemon emoji. I only have toast emoji. Alas, alack, only toast. Thank you for the follow, Natalia. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm well, Sweden. It's all good. So what we're working on is we're basically finishing up these last tidbits on a magic article. So normally I work in my Yutromorch world, which is regular fantasy, but this world, which is called Synergasia, but my section of the world is called Yutromorch, pronounced loosely like Scottish, but only loosely. The way that it's magitech. It's like future magitech, so it's still fantasy, but we have computers, you know? And so I've been working on the article today about how the magic works, and by today, I mean for the last about 20 minutes. I'm a fair... Unlike in Greg's stream, where lots gets done, only so much gets done today. My stream is lesser productive, but it's still fun, so you know, it's all good. Probably doing my own world building now, but far too much. Yeah, I mean mood, right? Mood. Who wants to do work, right? I do. I like getting things done. And this is procrastination, so I'm productive and I'm procrastinating. It's incredible. This does not fit on my head. Hold on, actually, I need to fix this hat. 1 second. The worst part is the only person in this chat who will find this funny is... they might be asleep. So, this is unfortunate. So, Day, if you're out there, this is the same birthday hat. Happy birthday, bud. It does not fit on my head. It is... Ugh. It does not fit. Ah! Oh god, I have a... Is it on the wrong way? Is that what this is? Nope. There's no other way for it to go on my head. I meant to read this on word it's on Saturday, but I forgot. August heat wave. Oh god. Ah, yes. Yes. The cold makes it worse, the heat makes it better. Ostensibly. Like with the cold. Like with the general flu season. Which... in Australia was not how it worked, but that's because things happened. Things rapidly got away from us here. So temperature had little to do with it. Unfortunately, it was not fun. But sometimes heat is useful, which is why it being super cold is not helpful. It is not fun here to be super cold all the time. That said, for the last like 3 days, it was like 24 degrees, and I was like, what the fuck? Sorry to all the raiders who've come from a very clean stream. I apologize for that. But it was like for the past like 3 months, it's been like, you know, in the teens, like Celsius, right? Teens Celsius. So that's like what, 50, 60 Fahrenheit. You can do the math. And that's, you know, that's pretty cold, quite cold actually. And then like 2 days ago, it was 24 degrees, and I was like, what? It was so hot. And I was dressed for it to be like 20 degrees. Except I was dressed for it to be like, oh, I was not dressed for that weather. It was not good. And now it's back to like 16 degrees, and I'm like, okay. Alright. Cool. Big fan. Big fan. And it storms all the time, and it's so windy. And I'm just like, oh my god, I just want to go for a walk. I can't even go biking because I'll fall off. I'll just get, whoop, and I'll go. I'll just fly away on my poor little bike. I will end up flying. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, I do. I have as bad a potty mouth as Sable, which, oh boy. Sometimes I'm clean, sometimes I am very not, and I sincerely apologize. This is... I do not stream for children. This is a simple fact. Okay, so... temper deals with changes in temperature, and... I don't know what else. Maybe we'll just leave it as just temperature for the minute. We'll just leave it as it deals with changes in temperature. Nope, it has to have something else in it. We won't look at it otherwise. Okay, so it's about like heat and cold. What else associates with the heat and cold? What else associates with heat and cold? Shit. God, I want to get this bit done so I can actually do the other one. What am I trying to do? What am I trying to think of? Because flow's already taken, like movement is already taken. So I can't do that. That's like the flow, that's an air element. Water is temperature. Depth? Does depth make sense as an element? Depth? Humidity? Well, that's basically temperature already. Well, it's not, but... maybe humidity. Which does make it fairly one note as an element. It can either be humidity or depth, but I don't know what that means. Pressure? That's pressure. Okay. No, there we go. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry. You're... You will have to sit here and watch me fumble through trying to remember anything about physics. I'm so sorry. Anyone who knows science in the audience is aghast. Okay, we got it. We figured it out. So it's pressure. It's temperature and pressure. That works. Because then that means that being friction makes way more sense. That actually works really well if that's friction. Figured it out. We got it. Everybody, we got it. I figured it out eventually. It only took Neil, about an hour, but we figured it out. Boom. Boom shakalaka. So, it's not very long, but none of my articles in Yutromorch have been particularly long. So that's okay. Let me just check real quick. Because I'm in here somewhere. So, oh god, that's more than I thought. Oh, because one of them's over there. 46 of notes. 550, 430. It's more than 300, so it is like a complete article. And I can obviously go back later and add more depth, but I think for the minute, we will make that finish. And say that it's done. And people can look at my cool CSS and go, ooh, pretty. Because I think it's pretty. Ah, shit. God damn it. Why am I wearing a hat? I'm gonna take the hat off. Ah, can I not get sparkles on my hands? Nope. Foiled again. Why do we have a hat? Okay, so that's the magic one done. Which was not supposed to take an hour, but that's okay. So we're not gonna finish second article tonight, but that's okay. That's fine. So these, yeah. Yay! Someone thinks it's pretty. Woo! I think it's nice, and it matches it matches the default background, which is good. I was like, there we go, we've got it. Because I didn't want to have to go through the effort of changing the background on like the far like lilac. That's the default background in Synergasia. You can see it's like same background. This isn't how my CSS. Yeah, CSS too hard. Yeah, CSS is complicated. The only reason that I don't think it's complicated is because I literally did a course on it. 2 of them actually. Well, okay, I did one course that had a module on CSS, and I did a unit in uni that was about making a website, which involved CSS. So I've done it twice in a professional, educational, academic context. So I learned the basics in like a really good environment for me personally. I learned really well with a teacher standing behind me telling me what to do. And then I can figure it out from there. So I had a good head start because I had a solid foundation that I got at school. That was during high school. But I got a solid foundation, and then I've been able to slowly work it up. Like, I don't have my original CSSs for my other world, so like my other world doesn't look as fancy. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Oh wow, I don't actually have the base. Hold on, let me just get there manually. The other world isn't as fancy because it's fairly simple, but like I like simple. So like I'll have simple themes. This one is probably the more complex just because these diamonds were a pain in the ass. But even then, my CSS themes trend very simply. I start with just changing colors, and then you can add more stuff on top. You start with just changing the color, like I changed the background to black. It's not pure black, but you change it to black. And then you start layering, and then things get funky. It's great. I love it. I love CSS so much. Anyway, now that we've done the magic article, and I can say that I've finished prompt 2. Sort of. There is obviously way more to it than that, but we're going to say that that is a portion of the prompt 2 question answered, which was, these are not summer camp prompts, these are Synergasia prompts, because it's a big collaborative world, and every once in a while we get prompts to help encourage us to fill out more parts of our parts of that world, in our regions. So prompt 1 was religion, or like gods, so I wrote about the big head honcho in the pantheon. Prompt 2 was about magic, so I wrote about magic. And now, prompt 3, do we have, oh, okay. To do linear navigation. Just linearly connect them. I would touch them, but I'm not going to. I don't touch anyone else's articles. So, prompt 3 of Synergasia's little world building introductions is a big prompt because we want to try and keep the summer camp energy alive a little bit and have things to do. So we have a very big prompt for prompt 3, which was who lives in your region and how do they get by? And so this one is going to be big because it's going to need more than one article. Like the previous ones I could have just had the one. Like, instead of writing specifically about the god, I could have written an article about the pantheon more broadly, and I still might do that at some point. But this one, you gotta have multiple. You can't just have the one, because you basically can't answer all these questions with a single article, because there's just a lot going on. So, you know, who lives in your region? How did they get by? Like, you start with, like, sentient beings, you know, your humans, your dwarves, etc. Start with, like, major cultural groups. You start with, like, food, where they get all their other stuff. You know, then you start with, like, where they live. You can talk about specific cities. You can talk about more general, like, construction stuff. They're nomadic. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot. And it's great. I love it. And so, for my portion of Synergasia, which is called Yutromorch, we will be working for this last quarter of the stream, really, on the Duanam. And the Duanam are, you can see it literally means diamond, slash soul. It almost literally means diamond soul in a very, very mangled form of Scottish Gaelic. I apologize to any people who are Scottish in the audience. I think your language is beautiful, but I'm really badly anglicizing it, and I feel bad even saying that out loud. My bad, but I can't read. So, and I'm probably not doing a good job of it anyway, because I'm looking at it going, I don't know how to pronounce that word. So they all get mangled. But they are the Duanam, and they are the humans of Yutromorch. Except, instead of having flesh and blood hearts, they have crystals. Big glowy boy. Big glowy thingo in the chest. It's great. It's good stuff. And so I've had a lot of thoughts about this. And I did not put them in these notes because I was I was rambling to myself at like 3 a.m. as I tend to do. And so there are a lot of things to consider about the Duanam and how they like work physically. Obviously there's shenanigans because it's like magic, you know? You can write a lot off, but there's a lot to still think about from a kind of, how does this work mechanically? Not in like a RPG mechanics, in like a physical, mechanical way, sort of. It's complicated, is the main point. Yeah, and Zog's tutorials are very good. They are very good. They're very helpful. And then you can combine like why do I keep messing up? I'm trying to say Mad Dog and like tutorials same time. Zog Mad Dog's tutorials. You combine them with the CSS article, the Codex article on World Anvil, to help you find the things to target. And then Zog will tell you what you do with that information, and then you can combine them, and then whoosh. Whoosh. And then W3 schools, yeah. Everybody loves W3 schools. W3 schools is the only reason I have fancy shiny crystals. Well, that's a lie, there's a lot going on, but like, everyone can say thank you to W3 schools for their incredible resources for this stuff. It's, oh boy. Yeah. Yes, you can absolutely post the Codex link. Links are totally okay to post here, but if you start posting, like, bad stuff, I will have to rescind that right. But you can totally post the Codex link. The Codex link is good. We love the Codex article. And it's important to read it anyway, so you can know what you are and are not allowed to do. And worst comes to it, if you're not sure, the CSS help channel in the Discord, in the World Anvil Discord, very helpful. Very, very helpful. They will help you. They are incredibly smart people in there that know what they're doing. Much more than I do. Because sometimes I'm just like, what? I just get bewildered. Like, I have foundation. I don't have a whole lot else. I was like, I got it. Because, like, if you look at, like, Ethnos and stuff, they've got real fancy stuff, and I'm just like, oh, no. Leave that to the experts. I will sit here with my basic color palettes. It's fine. Good morning, Katoipoi! How are you? How is your day been? Or if it's morning, how is your coffee? And no problem, Dan Fetch. Because, like, I usually, like, because that was the issue, like, oh god. Some parts of the site are real finicky. The only reason I knew that the extended hex might work is because they work in blocks. Because you can't do RGBA in blocks either because no commas, and I was like, and I don't even do block editing. I was just in there. Because I was like, oh, I know CSS. I can totally help with block editing. I can totally help with that. And then I guess I did sometimes. And I was like, alright. That works, you know? I'll do my best. You saw CSS and got summoned. Oh god. We're not gonna be doing that much CSS. I'm not doing CSS today. Because I already have my CSS, which I can show you. I have shiny CSS from my section of the world. It's incomplete, but it looks cool. Which reminds me, hold on. I'm gonna want to pull it over. 1 second. I'm opening Notepad++. Where is it? Here it is. Excellent. I need this. Nope, that's the wrong Chrome tab. Rude. Okay, hold on. This is not the best way to do CSS, by the way. It's a temporary measure. This is a very temporary measure. Normally I wouldn't copy my entire CSS into every article, but we're working on it. But yeah, so I have shiny CSS, and the crystals took like a full day to do, and oh boy. Not to mention actually drawing them. That was also a pain in the butt. But I have them now. I feel proud. I still need to possibly fix the logo, because it is centered, but it doesn't look like it is, and that's gonna bother me that it doesn't look centered. So I'm gonna have to just mess with stuff. But that's image editing. That's different. That's not CSS. So, well, we're not working on CSS. We're working on crystal people for the last half hour. So, the very basic gist of the Duanam is humans with crystals for hearts. But there's obviously more to it than that. Because that, in and of itself, makes a lot of... There's a lot of questions to ask about what that means. Container stuff and doing manage stuff. I do very, very basic containers. So again, like if I point to Ethnos, oh my god, there are so many containers in Ethnos and they look incredible. And I'm like, how did you do that? What? It's incredible stuff. You can do really cool stuff with it, but again, very foundational knowledge. We color swap in this house. In the Thompson household, we color swap our CSS, and that's all we do. We get very basic, but it works. Yes. And it mostly works on mobile. I think it does. Oh god. Okay, so people love a CSS goes up in the ASC. Well, some of us are because some of us are pretty good at CSS in the ASC. There's so like I guess like I'm decent. Then there's Delian CSS, pretty damn good, very nice looking. Tillers, very good. Well, Tillers mostly plays around with blocks, but blocks have their own unique CSS shenanigans going on, so that's also useful. And then Davina, yep, Davina's CSS is also very good. There are a lot of us, and then there's Dog My Dog, obviously. There are a bunch of us who are good at CSS. So, like, we could, like, you know, things could happen if we ended up trying to, like, find a way to collaborate or something. Or at the very least, because, like, I've done streams with CSS, but I was mostly just working on my own stuff, which isn't really helpful for, like, getting into it. I was just fiddling with something. Because I did a CSS stream before summer camp started, because I needed to finish a new theme for, pardon me, for TUMR. I had to finish a new theme. But I'd basically gotten most of it done by that point, so I was just, like, going through the motions at that point, so I'm like, it's fine. It is what it is. Okay, so humans with oh, what is Davina's Twitch channel? Corpse. Let me into the corpse. I wish it would just pop up quicker. Davina. When does Davina stream? Davina streams at a time that I'm not available. Here she is. Oh, god damn it, Davina. Damn it! I can't read the font, I'm sorry. I love Timepool CSS. Davina and Drawin. There you go. That's the one. Oh god, don't start any videos, please, God. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't start a video. There we go. I found it. I found it. We found her. Probably should actually hit the follow. I keep forgetting to follow people. I feel bad, but most people stream at times I'm not around, so I'm like, oh, I forget. Did that post? It did. There we go. Yes. Whoop, whoop. We got it. My phone is being very good about keeping up to date. Okay, so humans with crystal souls. And so, the thing, well, not crystal souls, crystal hearts. Correct. I think you copied, like, if you copied it directly from the corpse, like, header block, it, like, I don't know, links can be weird. But we got it eventually. We figured it out. So the thing with people with crystal hearts is, like, I had this discussion with myself last night at, like, 3 in the morning, like I usually do. Because when I'm bored, I lie awake in bed, and I ramble for an hour about world building. Was that if the idea is that you have a crystal heart, do you still have blood? How does that work? How does the rest of the stuff work? Because, like, okay, if you pump blood, then how does that work with a crystal? Is the crystal just doing all the filtering? Because that's what like a heart does, right? Like a heart filters blood and puts the oxygen in it, and I'm like, okay, does the crystal do that? But then I'm like, wait, that doesn't quite make sense. So, you know, it could work. But then at that point, it feels a bit simple. I wasn't sure. Because it could still act as a pump, or alternatively, you start going further along the scale from very human to not human. So like the two extremes are human, but your heart is a crystal, but it still is basically a heart. Or you're basically like a golem. I didn't want to do full like golem angle, not least of which because if memory serves, golems are like a specifically like Jewish thing, and I'm not Jewish, so I decided I'm like, okay, we're not gonna have like full-on rock people. So we're not gonna do golems as peoples. So we need to find the middle point between the bits. Yeah, so a heart pumps blood, and continuously does not filter or add oxygen. Right. Okay, alright, sorry. I couldn't remember, sorry. Again, I failed. I dropped out of physics. I never did bio. I couldn't quite remember, but it is, like, important for stuff. So, like, the heart sends the blood around the body. The lungs add the oxygen, and the kidneys filter the bad shit. But, okay. Does a crystal heart still pump? These are the questions that I was asking myself. Like, does a crystal heart still pump? If no, because it doesn't... The way that I've imagined the crystals in Yutromorch, they don't really... They have some biological elements. Like, for instance, they grow. At least a little bit. Like, some of them do. Like, the big central crystal, the one that's in the header, like this big boy, that one grows. That's, like, a very important thing. Right? So, that one grows, but does it pump? It pulses? Possibly? It possibly pulses. And if it pulses, then that can perform the function of a heart. It basically just sends, like, a jolt of energy. So that's pretty much what heart pumping is, right? It's just a pulse. So this is more weird magical, magio-electric? Instead of bioelectric, it's like magio-electric. It's like, I guess that's still heart pumping, right? Yeah. A dual heart, one crystal, one normal. Maybe Maybe. I'm not sure. Because I think part of my head was basically imagining that if the main purpose of blood in the human body is to deliver oxygen and energy and all that other good stuff to the edges, like to all of your limbs, right? But if you run on if you if there is a different way of getting that energy and good stuff to those limbs, then you don't need blood, right? So if instead of pumping blood, it just pumps like magic basically, and you are literally like a being made of magic. And like I think what's this in my head, because like some minerals, like metals, like I think I said gold specifically. Gold like conducts magic really well. You can use like circuitry because it's like magitech, right? It's like circuitry. So you could basically have like a crystal heart and connected with like gold to all of the parts of your body as veins, and that's just energy, buddy. It just goes. Maybe? How large? Probably a similar size to a heart, right? The heart's like the yay big? Yay big? This is not a great example. I'm wearing a lot of black and white. Like yay big. I do not have an example. I do not have anything of an equivalent size that is not black. Why not? Yeah. So it could be inorganic, but then I had the issue of if it's inorganic, how do they reproduce? And then I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Because this is something that would come up in this article. It would, like, if they don't reproduce the same way, then how? Like, ah. Yeah, pulse of energy rather than a physical pump. Because the crystal does not expand and contract, it just, like, something goes, you know? Magic's weird, right? So it just pulse, like an electric pulse. And just goes. And then the energy can be transmitted through some means to the rest of the body, which would then power your muscles, power everything else. But then presumably you're not like flesh and blood. You're obviously not blood, but like flesh, because flesh requires those things to be. Is it how far do I want to go on the inorganic scale? Because I didn't want them to be full golem, because I don't want to accidentally appropriate the shit out of Jewish folklore when I am very much not Jewish. So it's magic can just black box and let magic, yeah. I can definitely be very loose with it. I can just go, hey, it's basically a flesh and blood human, but it's powered by a crystal instead. And instead of a heartbeat, you would just get a weird magical pulse which doesn't move. So your heart wouldn't beat, or like your chest wouldn't like move up and down, but it like there would be a pulse of magic. Very small, obviously, not like huge. But there would be like a pulse of magic, I guess. But I think it is interesting to try and lean to the point where there's no blood and then they are inorganic. Or not carbon-based, like flesh humans. But then I'm like, okay, so that is just a rock person then. If they don't have flesh, they're a rock person. And then now I'm like, do I want to just have rock people? I don't know. And so that was the whole thing that I spent an hour rambling to myself about. Was like, do I want rock people, yes or no? Do I feel comfortable having rock people, either for cultural reasons or for do I want to have to try and draw rock people reasons? Yeah, and yeah, there are different thresholds for some. Yeah, it's true. So I could just have crystal and just regular fleshy human. I mean, if the crystal is pulsing, that can function as a heartbeat. It doesn't move the same way. But if you basically tweak the blood in these Duanam to be slightly, I guess, like, yeah, it's like slightly magical, so that it's distinct from normal like cow blood. You know, I mean, human blood is already distinct from cow blood, but if you put them together, they would look distinct. Maybe there's a different color, right? Just go full magic and have them have purple blood, right? Because you do have Deanna has having very good ideas, which is good. Everyone is helping me out because I don't know what I'm doing. But I could just go the angle of it's kind of like blood. Maybe it has a different name, but it performs the same fundamental function as blood. It's just instead of having a expanding and contracting series of chambers that like do the thing, it's a crystal that does not move. And glows. Obvious. Of course it glows. If it's going to be a crystal in your chest, it's going to glow. I figure that kind of works. Because then I can lean slightly more fleshy. Again, don't want to have full rock people. I don't want to have to draw it. I don't want to have to draw rock people. I can't texture. I'm not a great artist. Alright. Pulse rather than pump. And these magic pulses send blood going all whooshy whooshy. That's missing an H. Whooshy whooshy. Yeah, you're natural. Ah, yes. Natural at science in school, messed around all the time. You got B's in your GCSEs. And then if you'd gotten an A, if you tried, you could have gotten an A. Yeah, that's helpful though. It's people who know what they're talking. Cause like, oh shit. Cause like, okay, I did 3 years of science, just regular science, you know, generic science in high school. Then I did applied science, which is basically physics, which I didn't do great in, and all I remember doing was falling over and scraping my hand when we were trying to do like a momentum like measurement, because like basically he would time us running from point A to B and then we calculate the momentum or whatever, or you know, just your kilometers per hour, meters per second, and I fell over and got injured. Remember that. And then the year after I did physics proper, and that went very, very poorly. And I dropped out halfway through because I just went nah. Actually there was a gap in the middle. Oh, that explained a lot actually. There was a gap in the middle. I did applied science, had a gap, and then the next year in year 11 I did physics and did not do well and went, never mind, we will depart. And I stopped doing that. And so I never did bio, and I never did chem, which probably a good thing. I was never good at chemistry. I was very, very bad at chemistry. Actually, I was very cool. And I was good at math, so I don't know why I was bad at chem, but chem is just a nightmare. Yeah. His favorite can watch, oh hell, I mean, I can watch a science documentary for fun. I can watch many documentaries for fun. I just won't understand what they're saying. Which is, I guess, the distinction there. Being able to watch a documentary and follow along with every bit, it's like, wow, damn, I wish. And you majored in biochem and pharm in uni, worked in research, retired, studied post-grad stats in math, and picked up pieces of uni physics on the side. God damn. Science. It's incredible. I wish I was good at science. I wish that my physics teacher had been good. I was this close to being decent at science, and then I had a bunch of shitty teachers, and I was like, well, there it goes. Goodbye. Which is frustrating. It's very annoying how one kind of shitty teacher is just, that's it. That's it. That's the end of that road. Because I loved science as a little kid. Like, you know how, like, you go through your phases in primary school, you're like, I really like math, I really like writing, I really like science. Had a science phase and it lasted about a year. And it could have gone further, but my primary school was not particularly well funded. So, oops. And then my high school had bad teachers. I was like, well, there it goes. Yeah. And I guess that's true. We all have our different things that we're decent, that like we're good at. It's like you've all got your science, I've got coding. I don't have math anymore, I got rid of the math. I've got coding, I can do art. I've got it. I've got my bits, which is good. Yeah, teachers are awful. Some of my teachers were very good. Some of them were quite bad. Or I just did not connect. Something just went wrong. Or other things, like some teachers were good, but the stuff that they had to teach us was not, it was not fun. Like, oh god, I did Japanese in high school, but the way that my high school had worked was that they took a class of us and said, you're going to do year 7 and year 8. You're then going to skip year 9 and go straight to year 10. And then you'll do 2 years of year 11 and then 1 year of year 12. So you'll still do 6 years of high school, but we're going to like backload the shit out of it. So you're going to have lots of VCE time. It's like, okay, that's your GCSEs, right? Like VCE is basically the same thing as your like A-levels and shit. All your fancy stuff at the end. And that meant that we had to do 3 years of Japanese in 2 years, which meant that when I got to year 10 Japanese, I was missing a lot. And that killed it dead. My teacher was fine, but I was like, I can't. I've missed too much. I'm now not on pace. I've scrunched, hit a brick wall, and it went downhill. I was like, damn it. I loved learning Japanese, but it did not go well. That's a maths till you found the right teacher and then found to straight A's. Yeah, a good teacher can make all the difference. It's very annoying. It's very annoying that it's like, you roll the dice on it almost. Whether you have a good teacher or a bad teacher. It's like, damn it. It sucks. If you're 9 and 10 science, some things like language. Yeah. Yeah, and that makes way more sense. It makes way more sense to be able to skip very academic, well, some academic things, but like, they skipped everything. They made us skip everything. So if we did year 7 and year 8, and then we skipped year 9 in every subject. And it's like, no. And it went very badly. Like, a bunch of us were doing pretty alright in Japanese in year 8, because we all came through to the same year 10 Japanese class, because we had to keep doing it. Because you have to do a minimum of 3 years of language in Victoria. You have to do a minimum of 3. So we did our 3rd year in year 10, and we all were having fun in year 8. Our teacher was really cool and pretty chill. We were all pretty close because we were also in all the same classes together because we were all like in one class. So we were all like buds. And then we all hated year 10 Japanese so much that I don't think any of us continued. Like any of us. Like maybe 1 or 2 of us kept it up because they really wanted to do like the Japan trip. But the rest of us were like, it's not worth it. Like, yeah, I'd love to go to Japan, but like, fuck this. And we just got out. So many of us just backed out of it. It's like, that sucks. Yeah. You knew it because you lived in the library. Hell yeah. Yeah. More science geeks. We've got masters in chem engineering. Oh my god. Oh my god. Chemistry. That's just impressive. Hell yeah. English wasn't compulsory? Wow. Damn. And then did French by correspondence. Yeah, we had that sort of happening too at one point where I think because so few people did Japanese especially, because like the thing with learning Japanese at my high school is that none of the primary schools in the area taught Japanese. So like my primary school taught French. Now it teaches Mandarin, but it used to teach French. And then the main feeder school for my high school taught German. And then my high school teaches German and Japanese. And so the majority of students do German. All the weebs do Japanese. Except all the weebs tend to be like the smart kids. So we end up skipping that year, getting sick of it and dropping it. And so you get only the really committed weebs who stick with it. You get like 5 kids who keep doing Japanese. And then they're like, we can't afford to pay a teacher to teach 5 of you. You need to do distance ed Japanese. Like, ew. Disgusting. It's just not fun. I didn't do distance ed, and I'm glad, because I would not have liked it. Doing online learning now, oh boy. Oh boy. Ooh, you would okay, so about a week ago, you would hide from CSS. In 3 days, you managed to get an article. Hell yeah! We can all learn. We can all learn. Hell yeah. It can always be done. Sometimes takes more time than others, but it can be done. Yeah. My school was full of weebs. We were, oh boy, a lot of weebs. I was technically not a weeb. Technically, because I only watched like 2 anime. But I was there. I was there. We were all in Japanese because you wanted to watch anime. That's it. That's all we were there for. And it didn't work. The only Japanese I remember, I learnt from watching anime. and it's only individual words. I'm like, oops. Yeah, I did postgrad stats that way and it sucked. Yeah. And your 11 and your 12 French is really good. That's good. That's very good. Like, some of my distance classes for uni, because we're online now, have been pretty shit. Some of them have been very good. Not just because the content is interesting, but because teachers are genuinely, it's like, they really want you to do well, and they care. And it's like, oh, that makes a world of difference when the teachers actually care. It's wild. Okay, I have not done a lot of writing this today, but that's okay. Okay, so crystal hearts pulse at a pump, magic pulses make the blood go whooshy whooshy. And then I'll go whooshy whooshy. So they're basically just humans then. It is just humans. Okay, so I'm gonna make the blood purple. That equals purple. Lilac. Yeah. These are my notes. My notes are never good. These are my notes. These are great notes. And then there's like all that history stuff that's sort of up here. They still have blood then. So that means they unfortunately now you will actually need to go to a doctor if you get your hand cut off. Damn it. I was almost looking forward to it. Almost. Looking forward to it, you're just cutting off someone's limb and they're just like, oh, okay. This hurts, but like, I'm not gonna die. And it's like, really? It's like, yeah. You just severed a connection. I'm not bleeding everywhere. But they have blood, so they will bleed. They just bleed a fancy color. And they probably have weird skin colors just because rocks, you know? It's still like rocky crystal themed. It'll be great. And then, okay, so there's the basic bit. And then, okay, so the rest of it was like, so there are only humans, the Duanam. There are only the Duanam. They are the only like sentient / siphontic species in Yutromorch. But they have variety. And so the obvious variety is some of them probably live underground. So we probably have dwarf Duanam who just live underground. Because hell yeah. Hell yeah. They're like pseudo rock people. They're gonna live underground. Some of them anyway. So there will be a lot of that. Which is fun. So like subgroups. Subgroups. Okay, so we got like, this is mostly ethnicity rather than specific biology, just because I don't want to make hard and fast rules, but, you know, exactly, so it's like seaside, I need the map. I need the map. Where's the map? It's in here somewhere, isn't it? Where is the map? I'm gonna need to get the map at some point, too. I'm gonna need my section of map. So here's my area. Here's the center of the region. So these people will be distinct down here, because that's pretty isolated. So they will have a distinct culture unto themselves down here by the coast. So like South Islanders, more seafarer-y. Yep, no worries. We will be there soon. We will be raiding shortly, once we're all ready to go. So South Islanders, more seafarer-y, storm hardened. Then there's, okay, so there'd also be like the central, so like so I called it Barry's Hot. The area will have a name, very hot, because live in central Caldera, because it's huge, it's big. Live in central Caldera, and to be very religious, big magic, woo. So looking valley, question mark. It do be like that sometimes. And then there would be, oh, I guess like a dwarf. Underground. Spread across Yutromorch. No. Ah, excellent. Interesting. Perfect. Spread across Yutromorch. Probably also kind of religious. Everyone religious, but like, you know. We're all religious here. We live on the body of a god. We gotta have some kind of faith in the divine. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. And then, okay, so we've got South Islanders, Centrals, the dwarves are everywhere. And then, so we mentioned, we did figure that there are huge hurricanes that come, I think it's, is this, no, it's not, okay, so there's the earthquakes. This will be, oh boy, so probably East Coast will have a distinct culture just because it's cut off from the central by the mountains, and also tsunamis for days. Just shit tons of them. Dear God, this is flood zone central. Except all of it floods except for the center. Because how dare you? It does flood, but like not ocean flooding. It would take to invade. Oh no. How long would it take for you to reach here? A long time. A while. We'll do the math on that one. East Coast deals with a lot of tsunamis. Cut off from Fairies Heart by mountains. How does that affect them? Religious differences? More likely to worship sad? Ooh, oh, that's gonna be fun. That's actually probably a good one, actually. Because there is a different god in the pantheon. I feel like the East Coast probably worship this other god because of their location and circumstance. Like 2 weeks. Huh. That's not too long. Plenty of time to learn that it's happening and prepare, but it's not as long as I thought it would be otherwise. No, it could take longer. It could take far longer. Okay, wait, what time zone is this? That is... Oh, that's an unclaimed time zone. Ooh. But then this is the... Yeah, so this is the more, like... This isn't the Bronze Age. No, this is, like, fantasy. Yeah, it probably wouldn't take too long if I wanted to cross... Well, because I have to hit a temporal zone. Yeah, I've got magic. Yes, but, again, it's the matter of when either of us cross that temporal zone, we are going to... Something is going to snap. And it's going to be more even. Aside from the adjustment period. Like, as soon as the people adjust to the crossing of the border, because the air cannons would get better, you would think, right? They'd probably become magically infused. A bunch of crystals would appear out of nowhere. You're like, where'd this come from? And like, on the other side, suddenly we'd have no magic. Because, the source of pretty much all their magic comes from something here, in the center. But once they cross the time barrier, that crystal might as well not exist. Right? So that's going to cause a lot of problems. Their tech relies on the magic. And your setting is not high enough tech to support the tech without the magic. So, things would break very quickly. Like that time zone. So invasion's not great. The only person I can invade is Atavia, which is Cassia's world, Cassia's region. Because I have 2 other neighbors, but they're unclaimed. No one has claimed Region 1 or Region 31 yet. Yeah, what happens when the magic dies? If the crystal at the heart of Yutromorch ever broke or stopped working, oh boy, things would go poorly if that stopped working, I think. Like, I guess, no, yeah, if that crystal broke and stopped existing, things would go very south. For religious reasons, first of all, religious reasons. Second of all, oh shit, the power source is gone. We use this crystal to power the entire continent. Oh shit. Mass blackouts. And then, oops. people wouldn't die, like they wouldn't just drop dead, but they would now. It would be difficult. That would be the dystopia. The dystopia is if you manage to nuke the crystal into oblivion, and now society collapses. That's the secret. If you can break the crystal at the heart of Yutromorch, you win. But is destroying a civilization a victory? That is the question. That is the question we must ask ourselves as we plan to invade. No, 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 no. Ah, no. I'm twitching the other window. I'm like, ah. Okay, so basically, destroy the crystal, win the game. Okay. It is now midnight, and Bob is now up, and I don't like to overlap, so we are going to raid RPG Dinosaur Bob, of course. So, first of all, thank you all very much for coming. I hope you had a lovely time and that you will continue to have a lovely day, whatever it is that you decide to do. Because, of course, we will all be doing different things. Like, for instance, I'll keep working and then sleep. I love sleep. Oh, God. Oh, hydrate, hydrate. My phone gives double notifications. This is very rude. Thank you all for coming. I hope you had a lovely time. Rating Bob, who will keep working on things. I'm not sure what he's actually working on today, but I'm sure it will be fun no matter what it is. We have a raid call. Where am I going? Okay, here we go. And that is get ready. You can claim the Angry Toast using the channel points, which are below the chat window if you would so like. I'll give you all a little bit to claim those. You get 24 hours of them. It's great. You can throw toast everywhere. I love my toast emotes. They're very good. Everything is toast themed, including the duck, technically, if you think about it. It was planned, I promise. Thank you for coming. I hope you all had a lovely time. And I will see you all later. I stream again on Saturday at the same time, so I hope to see as many of you there as possible, but of course we all have things to do. So, thank you all for coming. Goodbye! Get ready!